let's start with some positivity. One, shout out to Really Saddle, my boy my mod. That boy was there in the movies with me. We watched it firsthand. We got to see it. Everything happened right in front of us. We were present. We supported the Fnaf 2 movie. We bought tickets. We did not watch it illegally. We participated in buying popcorn, and there was no buckets. No Freddy buckets, so hey, whatever. Okay, so shout out to Really Saddle. Big shout out to him. Let's get into our next shout out. This is our last final shout out before it goes downhill. We'll get into some movie specifics. We ran into a kid there. Shout out to that kid that gave me a sticker, man. Your boy had the Fnaf 2 Freddy ears on, and that boy gave me a sticker. I told my boy Really Sad I was gonna give a shout out for that. All right, done with the shout outs. Let's get into Fnaf 2 movie. All right, beginning to end, bad to worse, and some decent moments. I think it's important to say there is some decent moments. And not a lot of people are willing to give it a fair review from both sides. I'm going to try and do my best because I believe FNAF movie is both. It's important to childhoods, mine in specific, and I'm sure anybody else's out there. Those of you who actually do pay attention to FNAF, you know, it's nice to have that like reconnection back to the FNAF series. You know, some of the games are very old, and you know, as they get newer games, you start to get a little disconnected. For me, it brought me right back to the FNAF world. It made that hunger, that thirst for knowledge, the thirst for lore become a reality again. So that's always good to keep the FNAF kingdom alive and keep it going. I follow you TikTok. Thank you, man. Okay, so FNAF 2, beginning to end. Firstly, let's talk about the current circumstance, or not the current circumstance, but the circumstance at the theaters me and Really Saddle had to go into. Firstly, there was about a 500 to 600 pound moderator on the left of us that I think had Tourette's or some sort and was just tweaking out the whole movie. Genderless, me and Really Saddle really couldn't determine the gender of this individual, but let's just say they made the movie experience very unpleasant, with all sorts of noises and laughs at pretty much every joke that wasn't meant to be funny. And yeah, so with that on the side, think about you're watching the movie. It's already bad as it is, and then you have somebody, you know, causing a ruckus, acting a tomfoolery literally right next to you. It's kind of hard to enjoy the movie. You feel the shaking, the stubbing, and the earth quaking, and you have to continue watching a poor movie, which you're already in a bad mood. Yeah, real rough scenario, very rough scenario. Yeah, and then oh my gosh. Okay, there's a lot to talk about with the audience, but let's talk FNAF 2 movie. We're gonna get into FNAF 2 movie. It's brutal. It's brutal. One of the positivities was I liked the introduction to Marionette. Marionette had a very beautiful introduction with the creation of how Marionette became to be. I did enjoy that. Where this is spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie, I mean, I wouldn't recommend looking at this stream at all because we're gonna get into some detail for sure tonight, and I'm looking forward to. Welcome, Sammy, to the chat, man. It's nice to see a new viewer. But on a serious note, Marionette had a very beautiful introduction into the movie, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. With I forgot the kid's name, but basically the kid's name went in. Spring Bonnie was about to kill a kid. She saves the kid, but Spring Bonnie got a hold of her. Dies right on top of the Marionette box, which is like a little circle that releases the puppet box up. And, well, it pulls down. Marionette picks her up, and now she's holding the kid, and that's the creation of Marionette. And I found that very interesting. Very interesting. I like that introduction. What do you think, chat? Was that a good introduction? I would say that was a good introduction to Marionette. That's what you want to see from a FNAF movie, I would think. Let me see. With that in mind, that was one of the positive moments I saw from this movie. I would like to get into another thing. I like the introduction to Fazbear Frights. How we have those kids breaking in. They were looking to collect pieces for Fazbear Frights, which is obviously FNAF 3. If you're not caught up with the lore, I would recommend go watch a Matt Pat video. He summarizes the whole thing. It's important to stay caught up with the lore. So we have Fazbear Fright's introduction. Obviously, the three kids that were there for the parts, they all end up dying. Mango goes on a killing spree. Shout out to Mango. Mango was absolutely awesome this movie. Very awesome. Mango did a phenomenal job. Till the end. But let's work our way down. So Mango goes on a killing spree, knocks out about 3 of them. Just boom, boom, boom. You see her glitch all over the place. Very nice. And the lore gets kind of sidetracked. So Abby, the main girl of the show, the Mike's scenario is going to get gross. Trust me. Bear with me here. So we have Abby, Mike's Abby. She's kind of the main character. And the whole lore kind of revolves around this science fair. Like, it's very interesting how deep into the lore we get into this science fair. So we're introduced at first with Abby going to her teacher's class. His teacher's very competitive, big time engineer fan and circus. He wants to completely make sure that his kids are prepared for the science fair and they're gonna ace it and they're gonna knock it out of the park. And with Abby has this like broken up chica, and because she's been thinking about him, she misses them really bad, and so she's trying to make this like hopeless little chica, and she's like there in class, it's failing, making a fool of herself, and the teacher really makes sure that she knows it, gets in her face about it and be like, you're not participating. And then he points at the logo, something about otters, otter never give up, something like that. And so we're stuck in this lore. Moist Jr. Chill out on that. So we're stuck in this real unserious lore of this high school science fair. And, there's like this thing, she cries about it, and she's like, I really want to go still, but she's trying to not make a big deal out of it. And this teacher's just a big a-hole, just complete a-hole. And let's see, we fast forward. Abby really misses her friends. Mike keeps delaying it. Goes on this really bad date with Vanessa. Horrible date. Me and really Saddle had a moment about that with certain things you can't say to a female or to a girl. And, well, he basically hit everything on the dot. And she's having nightmares of Spring Bonnie, her dad. And she's struggling with it. She can't live a normal life, and it just keeps fading back on her. And real interestingly, so the flashback with Marionette, it was a flashback with Marionette about the creation of it, and it goes forward to how Marionette gets unlocked, and those kids that were going for the Fazbear Frights equipment, they were stealing stuff. The music box was on a loop. Vanessa had put it there to lock Marionette into her box, just permanently. And of course, if you're connecting some memorabilia of Fnaf, you're obviously going to be like, oh, music box, I'm going to turn it off. Yeah. Hell breaks loose basically after that. It was a smart idea, obviously, from a couple of teenagers trying to make some quick bucks. And yeah, they all die. Mango humbly eliminates them. And then we have Marionette unlocked. However, Marionette is still in this... Whoa, what'd I forget? What'd I forget? Hold on, point that out right now. Before I crash out. Was it the Ghost Crew? I thought it was the kids collecting. They did not break in. No, there was one that was collecting FNAF memorabilia for the Fazbear. That was like probably the most beginning part. And then later on, Mike calls them and tells them to go in. Kids collecting was at the end? Maybe I had it flipped. I thought it was the beginning. And, well, anyways, I mean, obviously you have to unlock Marionette. So, obviously, a smart thing to do is turn off the music box. Marionette gets unlocked. Whole lore is revolving around Marionette being, wanting to be free. She wants to get free. She wants to roam the world and kill every parent. She hates every parent. She can't stand to look at them in the eye. Because of the past that she had, where another flashback back to Marionette was when she saw one of the kids got abducted by Spring Bonnie. So there goes the kid going to the back room, and she's like, please, help. And every parent is just looking at her, a little middle finger to the face, like, ah, come on, like, okay, that stuff's old, whatever, get out of my face. I'm on a date trying to get some, and everyone dismisses her. That's a big part of it. Everyone dismisses her. That's how she gets this anger built up, and yeah, so there's a crying, raging child that we kind of get to see. Crying child actually never came out through the movie. Yeah, we won't get into that. So yeah, there's this build up for Marionette. I forgot exactly where I was going going with that. I forgot exactly where I was going with that. But yeah, Marionette has this rage. Oh, that she has a rage against parents. That's why I brought that up. It was because the parents were all dismissive. They all like kind of ignored her, threw her to the side, and then she's like, "It's the parents' fault that this world is evil. All parents must die. Kids rule the world." Peter Pan. Yeah, that doesn't work out obviously if we're getting Fnaf 3. So she wants to roam the world, and eventually she convinces Abby through this. Oh my gosh, the book! I freaking hate this FNAF book. Yeah, everyone's seen it. The one that's like, Abby, help us. I can't stand that book. Why is that? That's like the most important part of the lore, if we're being honest. And I can't stand that part. I hate it. I hate that it's a book, and that is the main reason behind everything. Behind connecting the dots between everything. Why the FNAF community gets reunited back with Abby. It just... that doesn't make sense to me. And it's like a book. It's basically a book, an iPad, whatever you want to call it. A million tickets she bought it for. Because that was something Mike said. He felt bad because he had told Abby, oh, the old animatronics are all dead. And then they come back later. Who knows how he randomly like made them appear again. But fast forward, they trick Abby. The Marionette tricks Abby into typing in this code that releases them free from the FNAF little shop. How does Abby get to place his instant? Abby takes her little bike, dude. I promise you. In the most scary, in the most sketchy like neighborhoods too, which is very surprising that she's able to get away with it. But literally teleports, and Marionette gets unlocked so she can roam wherever she wants. And I don't know, this like whole thing against her, against parents, and painting her to be very evil, very like, I don't know if that's very accurate to the lore. I don't think so, because I think Marionette plays more of a protagonist against William Afton, whereas in the movie she's more of, I'm gonna get all the animatronics and kill every adult, which is like kind of weird. We're like, you died like 30 years ago. Those parents are grandparents now. Leave my dad alone. But anyways, so we're there with the parents. She gets upset. All the animatronics spread throughout the city, and well, they're all assigned a specific task to kill only adults. Toy Freddy runs into a kid, and they think there's like some FNAF festival going on, and everyone's kind of making a joke of the deaths. Luckily, Mike, because at this time it's Mike, before we get introduced to somebody else that I'll later explain. I said spoiler warning. I'm dead serious. I promise you I said spoiler warning. And with Mike, I forgot I was going with that. I had something good. Oh, yeah. So Abby's been like sneaking around with animatronics, basically, and Mike gets concerned. So there's this poster on one of the FNAF, I'm going to say the newer FNAF. Yeah, like one of the newer buildings. And it says murder. So Mike is like, my Abby's gone. I need help. This guy says murder. I'm going to give him a ring. Gives him a ring. Of course, it's the big man named Henry, everyone's favorite engineer. Probably the most significant engineer. Creator of Mr. Hippo, a.k.a. Mr. God. If you're a Mr. Hippo hater, I don't think you like FNAF. It's not crazy to say. So they get in contact. Everyone knows. If you know FNAF lore, you know the significance of Henry. Oh my gosh. We'll get in. Remind me, really sad to talk about the ending, how everyone was calling him Phone Guy. Whew. The audacity to just think of him as Phone Guy, not Henry. You have to call him Henry, the engineer. But anyways, oh my gosh. So they talk about it, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, if you get a chance, can you give this to Marionette?" Because he's the dad of Marionette. That's why he posted the murder thing, because that was his kid that died there, and he's trying to spread awareness, and people are taking it for as a joke. And Mike's the only guy that takes him serious, so he gives him this box. Please go give it to Marionette, and it's just a music box. Obviously, Marionette's counter. That John. So we fast forward, and animatronics are going bizarre, doing whatever they want. And Vanessa and Mike, they catch on. They go to the older Fnaf entertainment, and they want to shut everything down. They're like, okay, everyone's out and they're doing stuff. Let's go to this computer, and we're gonna turn everybody off. So they all have to come back to where they're originally from. So they're like putting in this. Mike's like, okay, go find them. I'll tell you where they are, and then you go punch them or stun them or something like that. Go do something, distract them. While I find their IPs. You can fight animatronics one-on-one. How sad. And there's Mike hacking into the computer. There he is doing his thing, finding IPs, tracking the animatronics one by one. And at the same time, this is, oh my gosh, this is where I start to say the downfall of this movie really comes. This is a beautiful, FNAF 2 office. He's sitting in FNAF 2 office, mask next to him. This is the perfect scene to give some withered love, to give some love to the wizards. It's perfectly the time. This could be a 15-minute scene where they're just harassing him, and he's just pulling masks down and flashing his light in the hallway and checking vents and then popping his mask because Toy Bonnie's there, and he just... It could have been something like that, or actual jump scares where they're like charging at him and then he just real animated. We could actually do something with this. Okay, so our introduction with the wizards. First one, we got Freddy doing his iconic pose where he's reaching over the desk. He's like, oh, will this work? He puts on the mask. The mask works. Freddy scans it. He's like, oh, that's Freddy. Turns around, walks away. And, well, we're looking good. Like, he's like, okay, well, I could just spam mask. And then there's a quick scene, and I talked about it with really sad. I was very disappointed where, oh, withered body, he finally gets his time to shine in the light. He's there in the vent, and then Mike is just like, I'm just gonna close it with the vent, and that's your scene with withered body. Quick 3 seconds shine moment. Just shoves the vent in his face. Then I'm good not read that comment. So he just shoves Withered Bonnie, get back in the vent, and that's Withered Bonnie's screen time. Not to talk about Withered Foxy doesn't even come on screen. Rather, we get Withered Chica and Withered Freddy. And here they are pulling up to the office. In this big moment, Balloon Boy appears. He just casually rips off Balloon Boy's head and shows, I'm the animatronic to fear. And throws it at them. And then finishes finding the last IPs. And then he shuts everything down right before they're about to get him. Because in the moment they're about to get him, actually Wither Foxy does appear. Apologies, Wither Foxy does appear, and he's right there in front of him, and he has the mask on. He's like, oh, it's not working on him, and he's doing a last second thing. Wither Foxy's like moving like just super slow. Honestly, I think if you were to do like a time counter and you looked at it, the slow speed that Withered Foxy was moving at would probably be 1 hour in FNAF. Literally, that's how long it took. Like, the time it takes from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., that long feeling, that's how long Foxy was to raise his hook and still not even hit him. Does that sound like Foxy to you? Because that does not sound like my Foxy, where he's this slow, this ridiculously slow. So I found that absolutely ridiculous. Let me bring that up. Bonnie is 7 feet. Who knows how heavy? He says 4,500. Mike is 5'5", and you telling me that Withered Bonnie gets stuffed in a vent? Bro, Bonnie could probably knock it over with his ear if he really tried. Literally just, and then boom, he's in. But no love to Withered Bonnie. Shockingly, I thought Withered Bonnie was just going to be the star of the show for the Wizards. But no love. Balloon Boy kind of gets clowned on as well. And oh my gosh, there was a Corey Kenshin scene, and that might be the take that makes people be like, Lucid's out of his mind. How dare he disrespect Corey? But it's one of those scenes where it's just like, oh my gosh, you're from the last movie. I love him. He's hilarious. He just naturally makes me want to laugh. That's pretty much how the people next to us were. I can't stop laughing. I'm like, okay, I understand. There's certain glaze, man, behind the YouTuber. Like, if he did, like if it was Matt Pat, like when Matt Pat's like, when Matt Pat came up and said it's just a theory, like that's the stuff you get hyped for. That's the stuff you scream for, jubilate to. That's just not what you do for Corey. I'm like, okay, Corey. Oh snap! Like, how is Corey? And this is one thing I want to talk about. When Shadow Bonnie came out of the movie, nobody gets excited, but Corey comes on the screen and we're all pulling it out and pumping one out. It just doesn't make sense. I don't appreciate that at all. That Shadow Bonnie gets disrespected like that. Shadow Bonnie, I mean, what a beautiful Easter egg, truly. But anyways, so we're there in the office. He kind of defeats all the animatronics except for one. He's like, oh my gosh, this one's at my house. Vanessa, we need to get there immediately. And well, she has some beef with Mangle basically, and she gets away from Mangle on a car. I'll just say that much. I don't remember where exactly that is in the plot, but that happens. She survives Mangle. Mangle is somewhere in the wild, and throws off Mangle in the car and just keeps driving. Crashed into a tree and survives everything. He did not get hyped to Shadow Bonnie. He did not let him fool you. He did not. So yeah, we're there with that, and it's pretty weird stuff, really. So that happens. So the last thought is at the house of Mike. I won't get into Michael. Michael Lore is very weird because of his appearance is weird. Honestly, when you run into Michael Afton, it's not Michael Afton. Why do they have two Mikes? Who knows? This Mike literally has no role, really, if you think about it. Michael Afton, everyone knows, is supposed to be the protagonist. That's who we are in the games. And apparently, well, he's evil, and he wants to be like Father. So Fnaf 2 is, hi, I am the son of William Afton, and I am continuing the legacy. Okay. That is opposite of the lore we're going. And well, I made a prediction about what was going to happen. And I made a prediction how this was going to start, and I think some people were able to guess how the movie was going to go. I originally guessed that it was going to be like Toys versus Withers or something like that, and obviously it does occur like that. So let's get into what's going on. So Marionette goes into people's souls, just completely slurps them up, and lives as a human among us. Taking from Ennard, I mean, I don't know. At this point, she's better than Ennard completely. Now Ennard's not the only unique one to go into people like that. But hey, apparently she could do it too. So she goes into Abby and starts making Abby tweak out on Vanessa. And then right when Vanessa's about to die, all of a sudden, Mike, he pulls out the music box, tames. I think that might be a little later, actually. I might have started too soon on that. I think that's the ending. Let's backpedal a bit here. Let's backpedal a bit. Yeah, no, honestly, Michael Afton did not get any love. But let's backpedal a bit here. I think there's a little fight here. Michael Afton then introduces himself to Mike. He's like, hey, I'm Vanessa's sister, and I'm very evil, and these animatronics here, they're going to kick your butt. And, well, here comes all Mangle and Toy Chica, Toy Freddy, and they're all blocking every exit. And there's Mike and Vanessa. They're like, oh, snap. It's over. It's so over. And then all of a sudden, boom! You just see Toy Freddy knock out, or original Freddy from Fnaf 1 movie, knock out Toy Freddy. And then Toy Bonnie gets knocked out by Fnaf 1 Bonnie. And Bonnie from Fnaf 1 knocks out Mangle, just stomps him to pieces and destroys Mangle. And Mangle is this merciless like killer originally. Like in the beginning, you see Mangle and teleporting and pulling people and going crazy. And then here's Fnaf 1 Bonnie. He just one shots Mangle and disintegrates every part of Mangle. Yeah. Yeah, so all these guys get defeated. Nobody even throws a punch. There's not a single fight scene. All these new animatronics get blown to smithereens. And then Michael Afton's just sitting there like, oh snap. Well, time to start over. It takes off running. And some random... He doesn't really have any lore. He just gives Michael Afton a little trip. Falls, and then he just keeps running. So... yeah, that was a bit of a fight scene. Last fight scene with Marionette. I think that's the order it goes in. Yeah, something like that. And then Marionette starts tweaking out, attacking Vanessa. Mike throws the box. She goes in the music box, and that's the ending of Marionette. Oh gosh. Well, for now, and then, well, everything looks okay. I think, if I recall correctly. I think Really Saddle said that Mike turns off the box or something like that, thinking that this curse of Marionette is over. So then Mike is like, all right, that's your brother, and your dad's a killer. I don't think we could really talk to each other anymore. You're a bit awkward, you're a bit weird, and all this unnecessary lore is unfolding in front of me. I kind of want to live a normal life, and this isn't normal. So me and Abby are out of here. Leave us alone. Takes off. And, well, Vanessa's there. She's taking it all in. And she's like, ah, my life sucks. Marionette just goes into her. Ah. Yep. Marionette takes the soul of Vanessa. And now she is Vanessa. Well, off of what I told you, would you be excited for Fnaf 3? How much of that sounded like Fnaf 3 to you? So Marionette is taking the role of an evil character, and all she wants is avenge against parents because they didn't listen to her when she was younger. So that was my overall take. Did I miss anything, Really Saddle? I think I covered mostly everything. Because my goodness, was that a roller coaster of emotions, of events? Yeah. So that's FNAF 2 movie for you. And if I was to be upfront about it and be like, hey, you asked me, would you watch it again? I would probably say I might, to see if I miss any Easter eggs. But I paid to go to theaters again for it? Absolutely not. The experience, of course, is always enjoyable, but it's just one of those things you do once, you kind of move on from. It's not a good movie. I'll be honest. It's not a good movie. The lore, unnecessary lore. They threw way too much unnecessary lore for way too long. Way too long. I'm telling you, the school lore was practically the whole movie, and I think it was rushed. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me get into the specifics of the fight scene. Like, the fight scene was literally, I could probably pull it up on YouTube right now. I'm pretty sure I will. We're talking maybe a 2-minute fight clip. So you're telling me we had like an hour, 40 minutes of just yap. It's finally time to throw some. Let's see Withered Bonnie on some Bonnie action, or what's going down. Who's the big dog in town? Or Foxy's going to fly at the screen and attack me. Where's this action that we were promised from the FNAF series? Everyone was hyping it up. Oh my gosh, the blood. Blood everywhere. It's worse than Saw. Close your eyes. Terrifier wouldn't even be able to look at this movie. And you'd be surprised. It was quite opposite. Quite the opposite indeed. So, no fight scene, and really it was just like this, oh my gosh. And the audacity for people to clap, how is that even possible? But just a fist comes at you like this, and it just covers the whole screen, and then you see it's like this, and then you remove it, and it's FNAF 1 Friday, and it's just like this, standing. Woo! And then there's a kick, and then you see they remove the foot slowly. FNAF 1 Bonnie, how did you come back? Like, what? And everyone's getting excited for that. I'm like, okay. And then obviously everyone goes down the line. Nope. Chica from FNAF 1 smacks Toy Chica to death. You were supposed to be dead. And yeah, that's our fight scene. That was our fight scene, man. So at the end of the credits, we get a little Henry call where he's calling Mike. He's saying, Mike, I actually didn't tell you, but me and William we were actually quite friends back in the day. Co-owners, actually. Yeah. Give me a call sometime." Hangs it up. Well, FNAF 3. FNAF 3, we were supposed to get burning animatronics, but instead, animatronics are being set free. Who the heck is going to be left for FNAF 3? Marionette still around? Everyone's going to be wondering what the heck is happening with Marionette going into FNAF 3. Does that really connect the dots for you? FNAF 3 with Marionette. What kind of lore are we drawing up here? Oh, man. We're supposed to get FNAF 3. I would say FNAF 3 is probably going to be one of the best of the three of the series. Mainly because Springtrap. That's what everyone comes for. Springtrap. Is it really going to be Springtrap versus Vanessa with Marionette powers? I really hope not. Because, it wouldn't make sense. Marionette, you already established Marionette to be this bloodthirst on parents. So she's technically evil. So let's go down the list of people who are evil. We have William Afton, Spring Bonnie / Springtrap. We have Marionette, who's supposed to be this parents killer. We have Michael Afton, son of William, he wants a piece of the blood too. And then I guess toy animatronics are considered evil, and anything above. So any new animatronics that could be released are obviously going to be Team Afton, while everything else, old schoolers, are going to be on Team Good. They're going to be on Team Vanessa. Team Vanessa and Team Mike. And Abby. Team Abby. Kill count for this movie was a total of 4, maybe a little bit more. We had the 3 Ghostbusters, Teacher, and then I think another kill count with somebody else. The Fazbear Frights, I think. And yeah, that's your FNAF 2 movie review. I think 4 was a good number. But I don't know. How are we feeling about that review? I think that review is very forward. I don't know if I went down the list of that many good things. I don't know if I'm being too biased to the bad of the movie, but I'm honestly, I tried keeping it fair. I felt like the animatronics didn't get that much screen time, except for Toy Bonnie. Toy Bonnie got some weird screen time, and so did Toy Chica. Toy Freddy had a weird, goofy storyline. Wizards, my gosh, how do you screw up Wizards? Wizards, you just put them out there and they're going to be the star of the show. Why only give them like 2 seconds of screen time and they somehow don't harass Mike? They don't harass Mike at all. And Balloon Boy, oh man, how do you just let an animatronic get folded like that, where he just allows himself to get disintegrated? I saw most of the comments were like, "Oh my gosh, I've been dying to death to Balloon Boy," but I'm like, firstly, we can't imagine physically grabbing a robot and breaking it apart like that. I don't think anyone's really capable of strength like that, so I think it's very inaccurate. We're talking hardcore metal. You just don't mess with animatronics. FNAF 3 has to be more violent. I definitely think that, but the amount of hype there was to FNAF 2, it's not there anymore. It's honestly not there anymore. FNAF 2 was supposed to be this vicious movie where these guys are just nonstop. There's nonstop fights everywhere. And honestly, what you see in the trailer from the fight scenes, that's what's in the movie. That's it. What's in the trailers is that's pretty much the whole movie in terms of fights. If you want to watch some sort of teacher get beat up by Chica, that's in the movie too. That's the only thing that I could think that's not in the movie. They gotta go above PG-13. I think our audience is obviously a lot older. I'm very disappointed, if I'm being honest with you guys, about FNAF 2. I didn't like how it turned out. I also didn't like the audience, how At the end of the credits, Mike gives that not Mike, Henry gives that talk, and he's just known as Phone Guy. Like, okay, maybe that's being like really picky, but with the FNAF Kingdom, it's like I can't expect a room theater of nerds and they're pointing out Easter eggs. So I'll take back that take. But everything else, I'm being firm on. I'm not taking my foot off the gas. So that's my review. Are we ready to go into FNAF 2 tier list? I'm pretty sure we are. About the roles they played, maybe get into some specifics. Yeah. Okay. We got 2 viewers in the chat. Shout out to the big 2. Real quick, would I recommend you to go to the FNAF 2 movie? Absolutely. I believe it is worth a one-time watch, and I would like to see a FNAF 3. We'll like you bashing on the series, most likely. I think we watched Zootopia 2. I thought that was a good movie. I thought I should bring that up. Go watch Zootopia 2 if you don't want to watch FNAF 2. But if we do want to make a push for FNAF 3 and all you fake fans want to see Springtrap, why don't we all pitch in a couple money, a bit of a pile of cash, and then forward it to FNAF 2 so we can get FNAF 3 going. Honestly, they need to take, I think, 2 years. I think 2 years. Well, we won't talk about the freakiness in Zootopia. I think they should take 2 years for this movie. I think this one was way too rushed. 2-3 years, make it good. Make it good. Because, I mean, you get us all together, all dressed up, and we get all excited, and you produce this, it was a bit unacceptable. The fight was definitely not it. Most critics out there, I don't agree with. Those who are, like, kind of agreeing with me, saying it's a bad movie, they're mainly saying that's too lore-heavy. Don't say that. It's not. It's completely opposite of its own lore. It's very story mode, like it's very story mode, like almost like an RPG game where it's just a lot of dialogue and the one fight scene where you have to shoot an alien and that's it, and then you're back to like a real hardcore RPG, not your typical one. Yeah, I will be a big unk for sure in 2-3 years. But yeah, seriously, I think they need to take their time going into further movies. Why don't we get into the tier list? Let's go ahead and get into something a little more easy on us. Let's get into something a little more fun, a little bit more unbiased, maybe. Bias is going to be there no matter what. Welcome to the Lucid channel.